Hi, it's Steph, and we're at Lowe's, and we're going to take a look at their January houseplant inventory and whether or not they've received any seed starting supplies. First plant to catch my eye, this really pretty Alocasia. If you saw my last houseplant video at the Home Depot, you noticed that I really liked one of these and I was actually looking for one. So they have quite a few to choose from here, so I can look around and see if there's one that I want to take home. And look how pretty this foliage is. Really interesting. And this here, it's in a plastic planter. Ooh, I like that it has that clear spot on the side. It almost looks like it's like a water gauge, so you could tell if there's water in the bottom there. There's a liner, so it sits in there, and that I'm guessing that that's exactly what that is. Some kind of water gauge, a water, we'll call it a water window. And yes, look, it's a wick and grow poly Alocasia. Never worry about over or underwatering with wick and grow. Water flows up. Oh, how cool. This is a highlight plant. The spot that I was thinking is kind of a low to medium light situation. Let's see how much these are. They are by Costa Farms and they are $14.98. Really pretty. They have some crotons here too. This foliage always stands out because it's so bright. These are sometimes used in the summer as outdoor plants. Tropical, to give it a little bit of a tropical vibe. So these are croton and these are $10.98. And these are small planter pots. This one has something going on in the foliage here. So you certainly want to look around at these house plants, kind of inspect them, make sure there's no bugs flying around, see what the general condition looks like. You know, just look for any potential issues or pests before you take these home. This one here looks like a bamboo type plant, or even like a mini majesty pine. Let's see what this is called. This is a Ninth Bella palm. It's a highlight plant by Costa Farms, and it also has that same wick and grow type planter. And these are $15.98. And then they also have this color that mimics sort of like a terracotta look. Same type of plant. And this is an interesting bromeliad. Has this it almost looks like a snake plant foliage, really cool. And even the bloom looks like it's going to have a bit of a different appearance. Here's the tag on that one. It says it's low light, within 6 to 10 feet of a window. I'm from South America. I need to be watered once to twice per week, so it likes water, and temperatures above 50 degrees. I'm fancy and carefree. Oh, we like that. Fancy and carefree is the way to be. Really cool. Then they have the more traditional look bromeliads. If I'm saying that wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments. I always like to learn how to pronounce things. But look how beautiful this hot pink magenta is. A bright spot in this cold, dark winter season we're in. Really pretty. And then they have some of these peace lilies, really easy, beginner friendly, low care, low maintenance type of plant. You know they need water when the leaves start drooping. They send out these blooms. I think they have to be a little bit bigger before they start blooming, because mine is still relatively small and I've only gotten like one bloom out of it. And the whole time that I've had it. But also has really nice big foliage. A good plant to gift in memory of someone. Really pretty. Let's see how much these are. They're also in one of these wick and grow containers. So peace lily, and good size plant though for $15.98. Look at this. I'm going to show you a little bit further away. I mean, that's a hunk of a plant for $15.98. That's really good size. Some fiddle leaf figs. If you grow vegetables, it almost looks like you have some collard greens over here, right? Let's see how much these are. I'm Perfectly Grand. This is a highlight plant, a fiddle leaf fig. Has even some baby growth coming in here, some sprouts, some new branches. The fiddle leaf fig is a highlight plant within 1 to 5 feet of a window. It needs watered once a week, and it likes temperatures above 50 degrees. Another side note on these, they like humidity. I've had to run a humidifier on mine. You can also use something like a pebble tray, which is a saucer at the bottom with some rocks and some water that will evaporate and provide moisture to the foliage. These have been really in fashion for the last few years, and for good reason. They're a really beautiful houseplant with really distinct large foliage. They have some other really pretty plants with large foliage here. Let's see, we're going to check out how much the price of these are. So the fiddle leaf fig is $22.98. And then they have some ZZ plants. Look how shiny and pretty that is. And this one is in this container here. It says it's perfect green home indoor plant. This one is $39.98. My guess is because it's in this more fancy decorative pot versus these black pots here. And something to note about when you're plant shopping at Lowe's, anytime you see one of these red stripes, that means the plant is on clearance. So that's always a really good money saving tip there. You just want to, of course, make sure that the plant is in a relatively good condition and that maybe they just marked them down because of overstock or because it needs a little TLC. But if you think that you can bring the plant back from whatever it's going through, it's always worth the savings. They have some philodendrons too, and that I see over in the back there, and some monstera. So let's take a look at the monstera. This one here is called a split leaf philodendron. Sometimes I'm called the Swiss cheese plant. Isn't that funny? Because I actually called a type of philodendron a Swiss cheese plant in my Home Depot tour. So this one here, look at that pretty foliage. Really pretty. So it's a highlight plant within 1 to 5 feet of a window. Water it once to twice per week, and it likes temperatures above 40 degrees. And this one is $19.98, and it's a pretty good sized plant actually for the price. And that's the thing, you always want to try to get the most bang for your buck. You want to get a good sized plant for the least amount of money, right? As long as it's in good health and in good condition. Right next to these split leaf philodendrons, check out these crotons in these decorative pots that you can always reuse in the future if something happens to the plant. But these look to be in really good shape, and they're also marked down. Look at that. So they were originally $25.98, so it'd be about $13. Here's another wild looking philodendron. At first I thought something was wrong with this. Like I'm thinking, are these leaves dying? But no, it just looks like this is the style of this philodendron. Let's see what the type is. So this is by Urban Jungle. Really nice looking porcelain or a clay type decorative pot. And it says that it's a philodendron. It just says SP, but maybe we can find some more information on the container. Allow soil to drain and dry between waterings, indirect light, medium to bright, temperature of 65 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, and fertilizer apply once every 3 months. So let's see, there's another tag here, so maybe there's more information. So these are $22.98. And sometimes inside, they give you more details. It looks like this one might be called Mesa. Mesa revisits the classic terracotta pot by incorporating chiseled layers for dimensionally... oh no, that's definitely not the name of the plant. That looks to be the name of the pot. But if anybody knows what this plant is called, I am intrigued by its beauty. A quick Google search tells me that this philodendron is called Prince of Orange, but again, I'm open to suggestions in the comments. A really pretty plant nonetheless. Some really beautiful Calatheas. This plant I've been told likes humidity. I have one that's not doing too well, and in one of my last videos I had a lot of great comments that suggested not using tap water but using distilled water or rainwater, and to give them some humidity. So I put it next to my fiddle leaf fig, and I've been running my humidifier. But you could also use a pebble tray, which, you know, I did say before was just a saucer with some water and some rocks that you would sit your planter on top. So these are also in those wick type planters, and these are $15.98, but the foliage on these are just stunning. Really beautiful. Burgundy underside with all this gorgeous veining. Really pretty. This pink Calathea is similar to the one that I have, but it is such a beautiful plant. Look at this. I love pink in the garden, and I'm finding that I really love pink in houseplants as well. So this one here is the Dotty Calathea. $19.98 for these. It's called a Baltic Blue Pothos. Really pretty. I've never seen this before. It looks like it gets a split leaf similar to those philodendrons we just looked at. Look at that. But it has more of an oblong shape. Really cool. It looks like it potentially could trail based on this growth habit here. And let's see. They like a medium to high light. Water when the top 2 inches of soil dries. Keep above 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And with these Costa Farm tags, you could scan this QR code and it'll give you more information about this plant. Baltic Blue Pothos. This one here has really pretty cut in the foliage. Some dark foliage ZZ plants. ZZ plant, really beginner friendly, easy care plant. Doesn't require too much light. Does look like the leaves have a tendency to get a bit dusty, so you'd probably have to clean those off once in a while. And this one here is the Raven ZZ by Costa Farms. One of the most desirable plants around. Ultra trendy new variety, features lime green new growth that matures to a stunning purple black color. You can see here it has a little bit of growth that's starting to turn. Pretty. And look at these pink beauties. Gorgeous. And this is another plant that doesn't require too much water. The Aglaonema. Has a tropical look to it. It says medium to high light. Water when the top inch of soil dries. Keep above 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And these are $19.98. And look at this gorgeous one. This foliage is so pretty. Let's see what this beauty is called. This is called a Xanthosoma. Look at that. And let's see what this requires. It needs medium to high light, water when top inch of soil dries, keep above 55 degrees Fahrenheit. And these are also $19.90. A bunch of Dieffenbachia, and these are $19.98 for these containers. This foliage really is really beautiful though. It's very bright and stands out really nicely against all of the darker greens. This is a really beautiful plant. Look at this. It looks like green velvet. Oh, gorgeous. It actually even feels like velvet. So pretty. Now these urban jungle plants, they have really pretty pots and planters, but they don't give many details about the variety of plant. So it just says that it's an Alocasia and allow soil to drain and dry between waterings. Indirect, medium to bright light, temperature 65 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. And I thought that it would tell me the type of Alocasia, but it looks like it's more interested in giving you the description of the type of planter that they're actually using. Which I would prefer that they provide more information about the type of Alocasia. But these are gorgeous. And these containers, or these size planters, are $13.98. They look to be maybe 4 inches or just a bit bigger than 4 inches, right around there. A pretty peperomia. Allow soil to drain and dry between waterings. I don't think these need a ton of water. I have one that's similar to this one here that I actually am killing, unfortunately, due to too much water. So I've backed up on the watering, and hopefully that will help them rebound. And here's some more ficus. These have really beautiful, shiny, dark leaves. They will require some dusting, I have noticed. And they have a bit of a rounded planter. These make really good gifts. They're really pretty for the plant lover in your life. They have some of those, I think they're called bird's nest ferns up top here with these hanging type planters. Let's see how much these are. So the hanging type planters are $14.98. Looks like they have some pothos, and this is one of those Brazil philodendrons, and you can tell because of the distinctive stripe that they get on the foliage. They have a very large leaf that's a darker green with a chartreuse or yellow splash on the leaf. Look at this golden pothos. Beautiful. Nice and full. Let's see how much it is. And you can propagate this plant so easily. You just take cuttings from it at a leaf node. So for example, you see how there's already some roots growing out of there? You'd cut that right above there, put this cutting in some water, and within a few weeks it'll start developing some roots, and then you have a whole new plant. So this here is, let's see how much. These are $24.98. And look at this beauty. Such a beautiful contemporary planter. This is porcelain. This one's by Live Trends. Really pretty plant. Let's see what it is. Okay, so these, while they have a beautiful container, they don't tell you what type of plant it is. It's just like those urban jungle ones we were looking at. I have a plant at home that's similar to this. It just doesn't have this variegated in the middle. It's more green, but the name is escaping me at the moment. I also have one of these, and these are beautiful. This is a Birkin. And I looked on the container, and while the container or the planter is really beautiful, it almost has a linen look to it. Again, they just give you, the price is $25.98. They tell you linen has a beautiful fabric texture. So again, it looks like they're more interested in giving you a description about the planter that they've put the plant in, instead of actually what the plant is, which that could really be helpful so that you know how to care for it, right? But they still are really pretty. Here are some more of those bird nest ferns, and they are in a one of those wick and grow containers by Costa Farms. These are highlight plants, and they want to be between 1 and 5 feet of a window. Water, check my water level through the window weekly. If it's low, fill to the line inside the pot. Did it tell you what type of water to use? Use the rubber plug in the pot to control drainage. So this is the window like we saw when we first started looking at the plants. So that's a really good feature. I think that could be really helpful with the watering situation on a lot of these houseplants. That it seems to be the biggest struggle when we're starting out with houseplants. And they have the white option as well as this terracotta look planter. These are also $15.98. $14.98. So these are $14.98. And ferns, in my experience, like a little bit of humidity. And here is one of those sago palms. You want to be careful with children and pets because these can be toxic. They have a really cool looking bottom or base. They look like a pineapple with this really tropical looking foliage. But as always, when bringing home any kind of houseplant, you want to check their toxicity with children and pets before you bring them into your home. But this is by Costa Farms. It's in a porcelain container. And let's see, the sago palm, that's what it looks like. It says it's easy to grow, high light, and water when top inch of soil is dry. These are $14.98. And right beside it, they have these Venus fly traps. My younger son would love this. Anybody ever grow one of these? How fun. It says it's dormant. Plant included. Bug biting plants. It doesn't say how much these are, but it's a terrarium set. How fun. Look at these pretty little misters. So if you have plants that like humidity, it says that it's an air plant mister. And they are $10.98. Look at these pretty macrame hangers. This is really in fashion at the moment. It's been for a couple of years. I think they used to be popular in the 70s maybe. And some pretty plants in them. This is by Urban Jungles. This is a philodendron. Looks like the neon variety. Has a really beautiful yellow-green heart-shaped leaf. It has a trailing habit. And they're in some terracotta pots with a tassel at the bottom. Let's see how much these are. They're $22.98. They also have this prayer plant here, the Maranta. Really beautiful velvety plant with 2 shades of green and some pink veining. Here's the price on the hanging macrame planters. They're $22.98. Lowe's also has a section with these small 2 to 3, no, they might be a 3-inch containers of houseplants. So if you wanted to just start out with something small, these are wick and grow. You can sit them in another planter and they have the wick to be to absorb water into the plant. This is a type of begonia. See if we can find it here. It says, "Hi there, friends call me Rex. My full name is Begonia." And there's quite a few varieties of this begonia family type plant. See, this one here has a beautiful silvery like foliage with some green and some pink and some burgundy veining. Really beautiful. And then they have some other varieties of plants as well. So this is a really good beginner friendly size plant. It's not a huge commitment. They're not a big financial investment. A good way to try out some house plants. This one's really cool. It's one of those arrow plants. Berry illusion arrowhead plant, Syngonium. Look at that. Has a bit of a pink veining and a lighter green foliage. Very pretty. And these here are $6.98. They range anywhere, like at Walmart we saw them for $4.48 or $4.98, and then at Home Depot they were in that $5.48 maybe, or to $5.98 price range. And then here they're a little bit more in that $6.98 price point. Here's another type of begonia. This one has a bit different foliage. Ivy. I've been told that ivy is problematic as a house plant. It gets spider mites quite easily. So if you're a beginner like myself, I'm fairly new. I've only started collecting house plants over the last 2 years, mostly in the winter when I'm not spending time out in my garden. But I've been told that these can be problematic as house plants, but they are pretty trailing plants if you're, in the mood to deal with a bit of a thug. I personally, I do know that outside in the garden you want to stay away from ivy because it can be quite invasive. But I was thinking that if it was in a planter inside the house, contained to a, say, hanging basket, that it wouldn't be an issue, but it looks like they have a different set of problems indoor. That's a cool looking plant. Look at that foliage. It looks serrated like a steak knife. Let's see. This one is called a dark mystery pilea or pilea. Cool looking. It's a low light plant. Let's see what the grow conditions are on that one. Low light, water when soil feels dry, medium growth, fertilize every month. It says 65 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit for temperature. This begonia is really beautiful. This is a hanging basket type begonia. Medium light. Look how pretty that is. And these are, let's see how much they are. $19.98. And they have quite a few plants on the clearance rack. So let's see if we can find any good treasures here. Look at this. They have some Calatheas on the clearance rack. And so it looks like their clearance structure for houseplants is very similar to what we see in the summer when we do, when I take you to the outdoor garden center and show you the plants there. So here it looks like it's not quite 50% off until the plants are $15 and up. Otherwise, they're just marked down. They have some Calatheas. And let's see. So these were $15.98. So half of about $16 would be about $8 for these. And they actually don't look too far gone. So you could certainly nurse this back to health. Do you ever see that meme? Nothing gives people the feeling of power until they bring a plant back from the brink of death. I really think that is true. It's so empowering, isn't it? Really pretty. The pink one like I have that I'm currently trying to nurse back to health. And they have some more things on here. They have this Aglaonema on clearance, and it is normally $14.98 or $15, so it'd be about $7.50. And it actually doesn't look to be in bad shape. There's actually some new foliage coming on here that's about to unfurl. I remembered what I think this type of plant might be. I think it's a type of Dracaena. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. I have a Dracaena that looks like this, but it doesn't have as much of this prominent variegation. So that's my best guess on this houseplant. And check out this beauty. It has such a gorgeous gray-blue appearance to the foliage. This, let's see what it's called. It looks like a trailing type plant. And this one is called Moonlight Syndapasis. I might have said that wrong, but these are $19.98 in this porcelain container. It's a really beautiful houseplant. I really like this color foliage. It looks like they're having a sale on these 1.70 pint succulent ceramic drop-ins, and they have these pretty nice ceramic containers, so even just the container is really worth the price. But they have a pretty good selection of different types of succulents. And look at these anthuriums. We've been seeing them in red, but I have not seen pink. And look how beautiful. So this is a 14-ounce anthurium. They come in a ceramic pot, and they're small, maybe a 4-inch pot. And they are $12.98. Really pretty. I like the pink. I much prefer this pink bloom over the red. Let's see how to care for these. It says I'm absolutely lush. I like highlight and water once or twice per week. Temperatures above 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Really good Valentine's Day plant gift. And while they do not yet have any seed starting supplies, they do have spring blooming bulbs in my zone 6B marked down on clearance for 50% off. Here's another really beautiful Philodendron Brazil with that distinctive heart-shaped green leaf with the splash of chartreuse yellow, usually down the center. Really pretty. This is a trilling plant, and this looks to be about a 8-inch hanging planter, and they are $19.98. And if you do deal with fungus gnats at home, because you have a lot of houseplants and they attract fungus gnats because of the moisture in the soil, they have sticky stakes here. So you stick these in your the sticky trap in your plant, and it will catch the little flying gnats. And it looks like it's $6.98, and you get a pack of 7. I hope that you've enjoyed checking out the January houseplant inventory at Lowe's. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up button, and please consider subscribing so you don't miss any of my future videos, and we'll see you soon.